What's going on, everyone? Adam here, and today I wanted to show you my Husqvarna pressure washer. And as all you know, these are not really Husqvarna. Maybe the frame is, more than likely just the paint color. But as you'll see, it's got a Briggs & Stratton motor on it, and I can guarantee you this pump here, and this is the whole reason for this video, is not made by Husqvarna. So sadly enough, I bought this from Costco 2 years and like 2 months ago, and I've probably got 8 hours of use on it. So as you can tell, I'm a little frustrated with this. It's past the Costco warranty, and there's the manufacturer warranty is up too. So unfortunately, leaves me to buy a new pump, which I did. But I did not want to go with the same one. So I actually, look at this thing. It's a little grenaded. So I actually looked it up online. I found a few that were similar for like $70, but like I said, I didn't want to go with the same one. If you actually look up Briggs & Stratton washer pump, it's $180. I called a couple local places here in town, and they wanted one guy wanted $180 plus $20 to install it, and the other guy wanted like $230, and that's just insane because I only paid $275 for this thing. So I didn't want to break the bank buying a $180 Briggs & Stratton pump for it, and I didn't want to buy that cheap one again. So anyways, I found this one, and I believe it's called here's the part number and all that. It's a Yamatic, and so it's actually all the dimensions are the same. It's got a 7/8 arbor, or whatever you want to call it, drive shaft. Bolt patterns exactly the same. Everything works out exactly the same, except for these are off center a little bit, which is fine. It works out perfect on this pressure washer. And this one, the depth is, you can see the little ears are just a little longer. So I tried a 3/8 spacer, and it does work, but it's just a little too much, and then it shortens up your bolts. So they didn't have a 1/4 inch little spacer, so I just got some washers here, some stainless steel, so we're just going to use those and stack probably 3 of them. And then as far as the bolts go, these are the bolts they give you, and then these are your original. What's just going to end up happening is you're going to end up not using 2 of your originals because they're a little short now, and then you're going to use your one long original because it still works. So let's get rid of that. So you have that going on. So with that said, let's get this put on. I'll show you how it works. Okay. So now we get that set up. I think the hardest thing about this whole process is just, you got the motor and you got the pump, and you're trying to meet them up together. So it's not the easiest thing to do, obviously. Okay, so here we are. You can see I've got the pressure washer kicked back at about a 45. It's really kind of a pain in the ass, honestly, to do this because the motor just floats in here, but you got to get up underneath it. So I mean, you could probably strap it down to keep it where you want it, but what you got to do is you got to line up the shaft here with the pump, but you also got to line up, because these are not the same, so you got to line that up with the motor as far as the mounting goes. So kind of what I'm going to do here is I'm going to slip it on, try to anyways, and then you'll want to face these ports towards the front, and that'll be lining it up. So now you go ahead and you're going to have your long bolt on the right here, and so you put that on, And you're gonna leave, this is where it gets tricky because you gotta leave enough space, maybe for video. I'll go ahead and find something here to put underneath this thing to hold it. There we go, just like that. So now then, now that's it, that's being held. You want to take your long bolt, which is your factory one, put it up in there. And then try and keep myself out of the way here. You got to get washers on top, and this is why I was saying the spacer's a little more ideal, because you're using one instead of 3 washers. And you got to do this 3 times, so just it's not the easiest thing to do. So, oh man, here we go. There it is. Okay, now you push that all the way through while holding it. And then you get up here and you find where your nut goes, and you go ahead and you put that on. So that's your factory bolt. Long factory bolt. Okay, so let me show you this. So you can see what I've done there. 3 washers on top. Long bolt. Now I'll have to do it to the other 3. I'm just going to go ahead and do that right now. So I've got the 3 washers in there. Like I said, I had 3/8 in here before, but it made the bolts too short, but it gave me a lot of space around all this. But as you can see, I'm hitting now. And I could just replace the bolts, but I didn't want to buy bolts when I had a ton of space. So I've got 3 washers in there. I'm going to go ahead and put 4. So that should be right around perfect. And then that will give you, as you can see, I've got tons of thread. With the 3/8 spacers, I did not. I had not enough thread, actually. So, like I said, this is probably just under 1/4. So we're going to add 1 more, and it should make it exactly 1/4, or maybe just a little over. And we'll see where we're at. All right, so we got 4 washers in, and you can see it just clears. So now that you got your pump all mounted up, you'll see you have these inlet ports here. They actually have arrows on the pump. This is going to be your inlet up here, or sorry, outlet, I believe it's called. Outlet up here. And then this will be your inlet where your hose goes. So I'll go ahead and get these put on real quick, and then I'll show you how it works. Okay, those are put on. You can see they come out right through the front there. Not much of a change, just, you know, the originals were more straight. Everything works out perfect. Plenty of clearance for the hose. Like I said, with these washers, I've got 4. Probably just a little over 1/4 inch. I would suggest, you know, 3/8 you could go with a spacer and it'll be fine, and longer bolts. Like I said, I just didn't want to buy more bolts, so I just used washers. But if you can find a 5/16 spacer, or even a 1/4 inch, go with that, and then just you know, 1/4 inch with a washer, or a 5/16 by itself, and that'd be perfect. You could also, if you wanted, you could grind off the bottom of the motor, that little lip there. And then on this side, you could probably do the same, or grind on the pump there just to notch it. I don't suggest doing the whole thing like that to take out a, you know, 1/4 inch, but you could, I imagine. But I went in on the motor for sure, because, you know, you might get into the case there and cause a leak or something. So, all right, well, let's check this thing out. One more thing I wanted to show you guys. My original hose kind of took a crap on me. Got a big old bubble in the side. So I highly recommend upgrading to this Flexzilla hose. It's pretty amazing. They're not the cheapest, but they're nice and flexible. I paid like $45 for this thing. I can't remember. It's been like a year, but it's been well worth the money for me. So, all right, let's check it out. All right, guys, so you can see the pressure washer is up and working. Works great. You're probably wondering why I went with that pump. Well, this one here just, like I said, it had very little hours on it. Wasn't willing to risk it on the same style pump for 80 bucks. And honestly, for the $80 one, I could not find the same pressure ratings. So like this one, is 3100 max at 2.5. The one I put on here is 3000 at 2.5 or 2.4 maybe. Anyways, I did all the research on it. That was the closest pump that came to working. It'll actually support a 6.5 horsepower motor. This motor on here is 5.8 horsepower from what I was researching. And so, like I said, main reasons for using that pump, it's a different pump, it's a good price, and it fits. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and you liked. If you did, please subscribe, and I'll keep trying to make more. So don't throw your pressure washer away. You might be able to fix it like I did. We'll see you on the next one.